Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the YouTube Magazine Media 25. I have a lot of, citizen journalism on here, a lot of my self-advocacy, a lot of my advocacy for, MMIWG survivors, Indian residential school survivors, and other knowledge translation products for entrusted Canadians and First Nations, in particular First Nations youth. So today I'm going over the new information package. Today is October 8th, 2025, and I just finished editing my information package for the discrimination, dehumanization, racism, and genocide that was planned and administered onto me over a period of several years by people at St. Paul University here in Ottawa. So I'm going over that entire information package in this video. So this should be the first video in the playlist that has all of the videos in it. Most of them are short, between 1 and 3 minutes. This one's going to be longer, of course, and this one is the place that you start. If you have an information package in front of you because you visited by protest, you may want to just skip this video because you could just move on to the next video, which is here. So when you get to page 2, you're going to see this link, and that'll be the next video down, type of thing. Okay. If you don't have this information package, that might be why you're here. So I'm going to go through it rather quickly. If you want to, examine any of this information, then I recommend that you take a screenshot and save it so that you can spend as much time looking at it as you want. So basically, the title of this information package is They Are Accountable. What happens is that what happened to me at St. Paul University is common. It happens to First Nations grad students on a regular basis, and it has been going on for decades. And they are very bold nowadays, and they are very, like, even though all of this stuff is like so old and tired and repetitive, that it's been documented in the academic literature, written and published by First Nations academics, still they haven't changed any of their methods. And, I mean, it's like I said, it's all pretty standard and really, like, you could see this stuff coming from a mile away if you've had any experience, right? And so, but the thing of it is that they're very bold because they've been getting away with it for a long time. They've been trained in this kind of genocide, and they are training grad students underneath them, and even undergrads in this kind of erasure and genocide. And they've been doing that with impunity. And my point here is that they are accountable. So usually, First Nations PhDs, or sorry, grad students that experience the same kind of erasure and dehumanization, they accepted that erasure and dehumanization, and they stayed in line in order to get their PhDs. And they even brought their fake research, because they turned real research into fake research, and they even brought that research into their communities and put that on their people, which is a terrible misstep and a serious offense. And so, what's different about me is that I refuse to accept the dehumanization and the erasure. And instead, I've been documenting it every step of the way. And the purpose is to hold them accountable, of course. Like this idea that they're not accountable for any of their actions. Like, I mean, it may not mean that they lose it. Hopefully, it does, and we'll see. But it may not mean that they lose their jobs. And it may not mean that there's any, like, legal repercussions for the university and their administrators. I haven't got to that stage yet because I'm at a stage where I'm protesting these despicable actions and events, right? And so then that's why you have this information package, and it's because you saw me out on the street. And so then the idea that they're not accountable is not real. You see, this is the point I'm making, because if I'm out on the street in front of their university or in front of their offices in Centertown, Ottawa, then that doesn't mean that there is no accountability, because someone's outside and they're protesting and they have a sign with your name on it. Okay. I mean, if somebody was protesting me and saying that I was erasing genocide survivors, I'd be horrified and I would be attending to that matter immediately. So that's the difference between me and them. So let's just go through it, like I mean, here on page two, you start to learn about what happened in my class with Dr. Mackey, and then you'll see the first link to the evidence that's in this playlist. And so then to see the documentation okay, so what happened when I started making complaints in writing in emails, basically like as you'll see, I never made any formal complaints, but I did make some informal complaints in by email. And so that started in Dr. Wilson's class in the last semester of coursework. Okay, so after 2 years of coursework. And so to see that it's here and the name in the YouTube playlist, the name of this link is DH Info Package Page 2. And then later I go on to show what happened on February 24th, the events of February 24th. That's when I was erased from my class and I never returned to class. So you can watch this evidence here that I'm showing, and the file name on YouTube is DH Info Package Page 3. Then later you'll see about this formal complaint. They're improper, false complaints. Dr. Heather Eaton is involved in her capacity in the full-time professors union at the university. Um, Here, this link here, the file name in the YouTube is called DH Info Package Page 4. And then the video I left, so I halfway through at the break of this class, because classes are like 3 hours, I left after having read some of the information, not all of it, but that I received at 10:17 a.m. on this day. I decided it's best to leave campus. And so then I shot a video and it's dated and there's the time on it. And the YouTube video with that is called DH Info Package Page 4. Um, this link here is called DH Info Package Page 4B. And that talks about Dr. Tremblay Peplin and his conflicts of interest. And then next we have DH Info Package Page 5. That's the name of the video in this playlist. And that's having been notified. So like that'll take you to the actual email where I'm notified, right? So then the next piece of evidence is called Package Page 5B. And so then, because it's page 5 and it's the second one down, so that's how I've been naming these things. And that's actions of Aurélie Lacassagne. Then here we have more actions of Aurélie Lacassagne. That one is called DH Package Page 5C. And then March 2nd, this is more on Aurelie's actions. This link is the name of the video in the playlist is called DH Info Package Page 5D. Then after disputing my grade, every grade that I got from Simon Tremblay Pepin because he was in a conflict of interest, he responded that he's no longer going to respond to any of my allegations of racism and what is it, disputing my grades. I must have done it, well, allegations of racism specific to Dr. Tremblay Pepin must have occurred 5 or 6 times. So this one is called, to see that email, go to the video called DH Info Package Page 5E. And then I'm moving into the second false and fabricated allegations as part of a second retaliatory process administered onto me. Like this whole thing is like quite a disgrace. And there's like 24 staff and faculty involved in this racist pile-on to one MMIWG survivor, me. Okay. So this part here, the second false thing, that's all in a box. So you're going to see a box around that. And that's how I've separated that. If you want to read my research proposal, which is the subject of these allegations and which is based on authentic sources and 2 years of work, you can go to my ResearchGate and read my research. Also on there is my very successful master's research. One of the reasons why, like, I'm an internationally known student scholar and my work is very successful. And that's another reason why these incompetent, incapable thinkers are so jealous of me to begin with. Down here, the second administrative improper actions of administrators, you'll find in a video called DH Info Package, page 6. Down here, we have so this is the actual, I documented this meeting with this fake academic integrity committee, and I published that actual recording, and you can find that recording. It's less than 20 minutes. It's one of the shortest meetings I've ever been in for such a serious matter. And that video in the playlist is called DH Info Package, page 6B. And then on May 29, this link here, I made a video that defends all my research. So you can see it's a video and it shows you all the evidence in one video, a little bit long, unfortunately. But if you're interested to see all that evidence, you would go to this video, which is named in the playlist DH Info Package, page page 6C. And then the next page. So on June 2nd, I wrote to the people named responsible for reviewing the decision. So what happened is that you can see that meeting I had with them, and then they ignored all of the evidence and they made those false findings against me. That fake academic integrity committee just pretends the evidence doesn't exist and just makes whatever determination they want based on the evidence submitted by Dr. Simon Tremblay Pepin was fabricated by him. So I mean, and I tell you guys several times throughout this process that what they do is projection. So they're trying to like prove that I fabricated sources when it's them that fabricated fake evidence of my alleged fabrications or whatever. And it's like I said, it's them that do the projecting. So whatever it is they're accusing you of, it's actually them who are guilty of it. And that's pretty standard in all of these scams. So you can find that at DH Info Package, page 7. Then down here, they made up a committee of the faculty of canon law who also ignored all the evidence and also made false determinations. And also, like this academic integrity committee up here, these 4 people involved in that, they added a second allegation at an improper stage so that they could impose even harsher sanctions onto me. And these people allowed that. And they are sort of the arbiters of that injustice there. And you can see that evidence at DH Info Package, page 7B. And then the next page. So the last of this academic fraud thing, the last evidence video here is called DH Info Package, page 8. And so that's me writing to the Senate, all of these people. Like I said, this is a huge pile-on. And all of these unethical faculty and administration are involved in this. And I don't know if I said it, but it's called DH Info Package, page 8. So now we're going back to the first administrative the first retaliative administrative process that was put onto me. And so then we're going to go back to that. So then we're talking about Mr. Ghosn, who is an unethical lawyer and a fake investigator. We're talking about his interview notes, which contained misrepresentations. They omit critical details and other things that I talk about. So this video in the playlist is called DH Info Package, page 8B. And then I documented the meeting. I documented that meeting. I haven't actually shared that documentation, but on June 8th, I did do a video presentation where I went over the notes. So literally you could see their notes and my revisions and my additions to it. So you could pretty much get a good gist of what went on in the meeting that way. And this one is called DH Info Package, page 8C in the playlist. Then on June 10th, I wrote to Mr. Ghosn considering, about my concerns about the emissions and the original complaint, and Dr. Barrett's false and improper complaint that I wasn't even made aware of until April 16. And so then you can see all that information. It's relevant. Like Dr. Barrett's false and improper complaint was dated February 13th, and I didn't find out about that complaint until April 16th. Okay, and so then this is how much disregard they have for proper process. Um, and so like on February 24th, when I was originally notified at 10:17 a.m., this complaint dated February 13th wasn't even included, and I wasn't made aware of it until this time later. And so that evidence is called DH Info Package page 9 in the playlist. Down here we have a video where I go over the timeline of all these events. And so that's a pretty jam-packed, action-packed video full of evidence, and it's called DH Info Package page 9B. Down here, this one is a reply from the unethical lawyer to all of those concerns and so on, and that reply is in a video called DH Info Package page 9C. And then down here, I replied to his reply, and that email you can find in a short video called DH Info Package, page 9D. Okay, so moving on to page 10. So on June 25th, I posted an updated timeline, and that video is called DH Info Package, page 10. And then on July 3rd, I wrote to Ghosn to bring to his attention additional concerns. So by July 3rd, I was very concerned that the university had collected $26.50 in tuition, but no one would communicate with me regarding what is required to meet the requirements of the semester. So you see, I'm being fully excluded from my PhD program before any before any determinations are made or any of that. And the reason that is because that was the plan from the beginning, and this entire investigation is fake. So you can see that information. It's called DH Info Package page 10B. Then on July 4, I discovered that they did some musical chairs, which is what they do with their administrators. So Jamel Stambouli, who was on a sabbatical, was named the dean of the faculty. There's a new vice dean, and also there's a new director of the school, Julie Paquette. If you got this information package at a protest of Julie Paquette specifically, these are the reasons why I protest her. And so then you can find that video. It's called DH Info Package page 10C. Down here we have July 7. I received a response from the unethical lawyer about my correspondence on July 3rd, and you can see his response. It's called DH Info Package page 10D. Page 11. So then on July 7, I wrote to the dean of the faculty, the vice dean, and the new director about the lack of communication and about being excluded from my PhD program, even though they took my tuition. And so you can see that it's called DH Info Package, page 11. Down here, this one is a press release that I issued on July 17, and that video is called DH Info Package, page 11B. If you go to this one, page 18, I wrote to the unethical lawyer to demand immediate cessation of delays and assorted exacerbation of harms and immediate release of his report. That email is in a video called DH Info Package, page 11C. And this is the last page besides the appendix. And so then here, July 20, this one is related. This one relates to this. So this is when I was notified that I'm being expelled. Okay, and so you can see what I received. If you went to DH Info Package page 12, that's what the video is called, DH Info Package page 12. Then next, on July 25th, I issued a statement regarding the fake investigation and the fake findings, and I caution people to avoid making defamatory statements in regard to fake, unspecified, and false findings against me in this matter. Like, for example, I'm cautioning people not to say that I was found guilty of harassment or defamation or anything else because none of those things were specified in any of the information. There's no evidence of any, there's no evidence that I did that. And there's no evidence that there was any investigation that found that. There is no evidence of any findings. Do you see what I mean? And so then July 25th, this video is called DH Info Package page 12 L. No, sorry, excuse me, B. Page 12B. I can't even read my own writing. That's why. Okay, so then down here, August 1st, I published my first information package, and that has some information that is really good, I think. And so then that's why I bring it to your attention today. In particular, it's useful for like young people and maybe newcomers to Canada who have less experience and knowledge about Canadian legal standards, right? So that information package talks a lot about why this matters. You know, like why does it matter that these complaints be understood, and and then if something similar, because Canadians have rights, and not everybody is aware of all these rights, and so then they can't just get away with anything they want, and so that's why you might want to look at this kind of stuff if you have less experience with what those standards are in Canada, right? That video is called DH Info Package page 12C. Down here on August 27th, I was notified. Oh, yeah, this is when, so a fake detective of the Ottawa Police Service, outrageous. I was protesting at 116 Albert Street 3 times a week for the month of August. In the last week, when I was ready to wrap it up, and I had already said I was going to wrap it up, Stephen Gone had recruited the services of this fake detective who did a fake investigation and threatened to charge me with criminal harassment, which is fully ridiculous. And so then that information and all that stuff associated with that BS is in a video called DH Info Package page 12 D. And shame on Albert Stewart and the Ottawa Service for that man should be fired. Here's Appendix 1. It just shows you, like, I mean, Marcel Damphouse, Patrick Leroux, Jean-Marc Barrette. All these people are on the Senate, and all these people are involved in the pylon. And here's their names. So that's it, just to go over this information package. If you did not get a copy of this because you're coming to these videos by some other way than having met me at one of my protests, then this overview of the information, this is what I hand out on the street, and this is the links that they get. These QR codes, just take them to the link. If it's more convenient, you can type the link into your browser, or you can just scan the QR code. They're the same links. And so all this is on my YouTube, and that's the reason why I make this video. And that's it. Thanks for watching.